Welcome to my Sorare Journey, episode 67. We have gone collection crazy recently, and the new European season is around the corner. We have some teams to build, we have some planning to do. So yeah, let's get into it then. To explain what's been going on then, I've been selling a lot of cards over the European off-season, hoping to have a liquid cash balance available for the start of new European season. Currently, we've built up about £2,400 worth of ETH that can go straight into a new collection, can go straight into new season supply cards when they come out. Now, I still need to decide what stack I'm going into, but I've started my analysis and something appeared to me. So I thought, what a fun place to start for this than Sorare Data. So I could open a Celtic stack, I've got all of the Celtic current season cards in there, and then I'm looking at prices and I'm looking at £405. I'm like, okay, so, what's crucial with these collections is that people just go out and get the best team. But, your best team or your favorite team really doesn't matter in this shape of it. It's actually like, how well can they perform based on their cost? So although, yes, I think Celtic will have a fantastic season, the fact that everyone's involved in them, maybe that takes away from you, well, the fact that if you're playing limited, a lot of people will be competing against you with similar cards. And then also, if you're just playing any of the scarcities, you need to get a return on that. And the more popular that is, the less the return will be because they'll be more expensive. So essentially, I just laid out as many of the teams that I'm interested in. Aston Villa seem to be coming up. How are they priced? £263. It's like, okay, well, in that case, probably worth playing the premium for Celtic. I'll just show you a couple of others, but I'm not going to go into all of them. Roma stack, obviously important, but I think their price is £311, is really high because of the lack of season supply. If they did get new season supply, maybe they would be an option. Another one here, like just looking at real budget stacks, like what about Fulham? No one's really collecting Fulham cards except for Fulham fans. £86 for the whole team. I was like, yeah, that's good. But then I thought about it and I was like, I'm not really backing Fulham to have a massive season. You do need to balance it out. You can't just go for the cheapest one. And I came across the absolute price crash in Asia and America cards. So an Atalanta stack, now I don't think they're up to too much, to be honest, but you can get the whole team for £132. And then what's really just blown me away, an FC Seoul stack you can get for £80. Now, what's key about Seoul is that they have some really good players in their collection, essentially. So you've got a really strong under 23 in Kim Joo-sung. Now, I'm really sorry for anyone that actually watches the league and cares a lot more about it than me, because I'm going to butcher all of these names. So just want to throw out a little disclaimer here. Probably the most important would be Baek Jong-bom for £14, an under 23 goalkeeper, right? And you can pick them up for £14 at the minute. Essentially, I understand it's coming to their off season. They've got about 8 or 9 games left in their season. But what I think's happening is too many people has transitioned to the European cards, selling out of Asia. And yeah, I just think essentially they've got to a price where they're just too cheap that I couldn't say no. So if we go to my gallery, my home, my cards, yeah, there has been a lot of pickups. And really interesting to me here because I'm learning as I'm going. I'm not just doing it completely for fun. I thought it's really interesting how easy I can get these XP, but I'm also thinking about, okay, well, if I jump into a rare stack or maybe a more expensive limited stack, how can I go about it in the most cost efficient generally way? And yeah, a lot of learning curve so far. So we're currently at 4% on 24 of 44 players. Now, a very obvious place to start. 44 cards. So the more cards you get, the better. So 22 players for Bruges, for example, compared to 41 for FC Seoul. That is just going to be a huge differential. Yeah, just look at the number of players in these stacks. So like Bayern 31 is very good. But if you were doing the Fulham stack, you've only got 19 players to choose from. Now, what's really important about that is that, obviously the more cards there are, the easier it is to get your XP. But then also you got to think about the people competing against you. So there's going to be a lot more people coming in for less cards, essentially, or same people coming in for less cards. I think it's pretty obvious the more players, the better in terms of the collection bonus. And what is specifically good about Seoul, they have a lot of rookie cards. And I like this for 2 reasons. Obviously, one is the special card 20% bonus, but also you're picking these cards up for 50p to £1 because they're not playing. But the fact they're so young, and the whole point of collecting bonus is keeping these cards for a very, very long time and having a consistently, high 5% or however many percent you get on them. The fact that you only need one of them to turn good to essentially like make back all of your 50p's, all of your pounds. It's really affordable, and it's something I haven't seen many people talk about. Is this kind of like, all right, when everyone's going left, go right. Everyone's going to European season cards. Well, the MLS season might, or the MLS and the Asia cards, they might be, at the very bottom of their price range right now. So not only do you have that advantage of getting 8 or 9 games, but as more people start talking about them and then buying the dip and things like that, they're going to go up in price as well, potentially. You know, that's kind of my thinking behind it. So you get this kind of two-ball effect, whereas with European season cards, you're only getting one. You know, the price is only going to go down from here most likely, as they're about to double the supply of cards as, you know, every year the new season supply comes on, and yeah, whatever, you know the rest of it. So 2 points I'm noting for next season will be number of cards is going to be crucial to which stack I select. Number of rookie cards is not crucial, but it's a nice, easy benefiting factor which you kind of want to have more of. Depth of, like, you know, you want to have a stack that has a key fundamental stacking nature to it. So I love Sol for their under 23 defensive stack. You know, the goalkeeper, 2 defenders are all like, or 3 defenders I think are all under 23 and all score quite well. I think they're 3rd in their league, which is, you know, a decent position. Like it just seems like the perfect stack to me, and hopefully everyone doesn't go out and you know, they're really competitive now, because I'm 15th on the leaderboard and I could move up pretty high here. I'm never going to reach these sort of levels, but there is another important part to note. The next point I want to touch on is these numbered cards. So you could pick up Lee Ji Suk here for 89 pence, or you get his numbered collection for 15. So essentially like over 15x the same amount for an extra 20 or 30 points. But in this collection, it's just not really worth it. If you think I've picked up probably 20 out of my 24 cards as first owners, and then the other aspects of the cards I've just gone and bought off the secondary market because they're a little bit cheaper, right? I'm at 620 points. I've got 130 points to go, which is essentially just 13 cards purchased off the market. So 1, 2, well, you can see I've got 20 left that I could get, and I only need to buy 13. So there's no point going for these special edition cards, because I would much rather have 15 cards for 80p than £15 for 1 card, because the more you're going to get more points from the larger amount of cards. And on top of that, I like to think of this as another learning point of how much are you actually paying for the collection bonus here. If you say, just for example's sake, right, this card's £15 if you want to go out and get the collection bonus one, or you can get the normal one for £1, right? Well, in that case, you're paying £14 to get your XP. Is it worth it? And this is going to depend how much you want to spend on your team and how good the cards are, for example. But again, in that case, it just wasn't worth it to me. I'll definitely just go and get £1.31 for the collection bonus. I think people are just either overthinking it or just playing the really simple route of, I'm just going to get all of the collection bonus points I can. So you get 20 points if you're a first owner, right? So you are the card owner and it comes straight from Sorare, or you win it in a reward. Or you get 10 points, half of that, if you just go and buy off the secondary market of someone else. So in this case, I could have paid Stanislav £4, or I could have paid £1 for the original version. As I've shown already, I don't need the points on more players. I can just have a larger amount of players than just like one player with, you know, better collection bonuses. And I'd always, in every single case, rather have more cards, because more cards are going to give you more coverage, right? You can actually use 15 cards. Whereas if you're paying this extra £4 for an extra 10 points of collection bonus, there's just no benefit to it except for those 10 points. But again, you would rather have 2 cards because they're differentials and you're getting the same card anyway. So it's like you get the same SO5 points, you get an additional card, or you get the same one. It's 2 versus 1. I might have butchered that explanation, but more cards are better. So yeah, a lot to learn, and that's not even the final point, right? The one that I probably didn't do very well, and I should do next time, is pick which cards I'm going to buy off the auction and pick which cards I'm going to go in the secondary. So for example, you can see this Lee Si Young here, 17.5% bonus, because he actually started on level 5 when I picked him up off the market. Whereas, you know, Willian here, he's only getting 9% because I've just picked him off of the auction, get the extra 20%. In that example, it's better to flip them, but you know, you essentially want whichever card is going to play to have more XP. So this guy doesn't really play, so he's not. It doesn't really matter if he's got 11.5%. You'd rather on a player that plays like Willian. But even better than that is you want it on your top performers. So for example, Baek Yong Bom, I should have definitely gone out and bought a better version of him. Lost 10% collection point, but maybe gained 2% on the experience points. And the other point to note, which I guess is quite obvious, I'm not going to be the best soul stack. So I'm going to need to think about how I'm going to partner them up. And additional to that as well, there is a lot that you need to know about collection bonuses in this video. The goalkeeper XP, or the goalkeeper situation, is there's obviously only one goalkeeper, but there's going to be 11 cards on the pitch. So I'm probably going to get a goalkeeper from a second team as well, so I can run 2 teams and make kind of the best value for money out of the stack. I really think that's how we do it. And sorry, there's actually another point I've thought of. I could have stopped at 4%. I looked at the cost. I looked at, 87p, 58p, 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 58. I added it all up and I was like, okay, it definitely makes sense. Would you pay, for example, £10 for an extra 1% across all of your cards? If the answer is yes, you go out and do it. Because these costs are so low, it's an obvious yes. In your own collection, say if you're collecting Liverpool like everyone under the sun is, it gets a lot harder, especially if you're looking in maybe the rare collection bonuses. This is best exampled with my Liverpool collection because I have one card and I've got 1% on Adrian. So let's say Adrian was in fact Alisson. So it's now Alisson and I can boost him by an extra 1%. Okay, well, how much is it going to cost me? Okay, we can probably get one for 44 here, 75 here, 74 here, 20 here, 25 here. So it's like, okay, maybe it's going to cost me £100 to get an extra 1% on one player. Yeah, it's not worth it at all. But there are examples of, lower down in my own collections where I have done this. For example, Salzburg. So I went out, I got, cheap goalkeeper. I've got a couple of players that play in random leagues that are really cheap. Now I've got two of my best cards in Limited, Nico Mantle and Dio Guindo. They are XP maxed and they're really strong scorers when they play. So it essentially cost me next to nothing to get Nico Mantle to 11%, and I could probably have pushed that further. But the important part to note is what is the floor cost of this player, and then what's the collection cost of this player? What's it going to cost me to get on auction? Because these old season cards are gone, you can't get them on auction. So it's from either player. Nico Mantle's a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. So he's £15 as like a floor price. You can pick him up for £15. But if you want the Salzburg version, you're going to be paying £20. Let's just say, for example, that's all he'll accept. So that's £5 going to the collection bonus pot. Okay, so I need, 5 more examples of that. All right, £25 for 1% bonus. Is it worth it? It sounds a bit obvious, but when you actually run the calculations, just think of it. If someone came up to you on Sorare and said, right, I can magically boost all your players by 1%, it's going to cost you this much of an ETH, it's going to cost you £25. Would you take it? What if it was one of those new boosts that come out? Would you take it? It's a great way to think about it. It's really helped me, so try that out at home. So back to Sol, I am going to go and collect all of the different cards now, get to 5%. I'm going to have 5% on top of my already 5% for new season supply. Going to get 11% to the end of the season. And that's really crucial in the cap divisions because all the European season cards are going to lose all of their bonuses on the first game of the next season. I'm going to be competing at a slight advantage for a little bit. So yes, there's only 9 games left, but you're going to have a competitive advantage against everyone else. That's another part of the thinking here. All right, is anyone else tired about talking about the collection bonus? Because I absolutely am. So I hope you found that helpful, but no more, I promise. So if we look at what I've been doing in these past few game weeks, I've just been trying to boost some of my best cards. So ignore the 2 DMPs I didn't know. I didn't research into them, but I think they're both injured and it probably wasn't known. But I'm just trying to boost up Dybala. He's one of my best cards. He's got good XP already, but let's get that even better. So we've got Sinquet and Livakovic. Both got great fixtures, both expected to score well. I'm not going to try and scrape ETH when I can, boost my player for even more. I didn't even have a full team that would probably have made the ETH threshold. So yeah, no point in doing that. I've done the same with Agarepsiliaga. You're probably thinking, what are you boosting a defensive or a second choice goalkeeper for? I don't know. I just like having him on high XP. I've held him for ages now. And the same for Remy Cabella. So yeah, again, not all of these players are going to play, but just try and boost your XP where you can because it's going to be so important. I don't know how many times I can say it. But with Scotland back, with the Championship back, we are going to get some SO5 games. We're going to get some real competitive fixtures. And yeah, I just thought I'd show off my team for a little bit. So Angus Gunn, Hugo Sinquet, Harry Rinks, partnering up with Drewsbury Hall, who should be playing Cam for Leicester. And then maybe Crescencio Somerville should play. Not sure if I'd captain him. But yeah, it's just a team that I can actually put out. On top of that, I'm going to have my soul stack. I could play something like this if Coita's fit. I would need a midfielder in any case, or I could kind of combine the 2 teams to make a strong under-23 team. I'll probably need to look at the prize pools for that, to be honest. After that, we can move into the rare division for the week after, where we can play like Unai Simon, Gaia, Cabella, Edison, Edward, and Ralston. So there, it's just, I haven't got my full strength team out yet. Obviously, a lot of my best players are Roma players. Serie A come back a week later. So yeah, I'm going to have to wait for that. But I have so much depth in Limited that I'll be playing a couple of teams like Livakovic, Badia, Mantle, Gunn. A lot of players that I'd expect to play. all of my stacks. Barcelona's back for Koundé, PSG's back, Hakimi. I haven't even looked at these yet. Cruz, Camavinga, Enzo. Oh, I'm buzzing for this. Hopefully Marco Verratti stays at PSG. He's expected to go to Saudi, but PSG haven't let him go yet. So that could be huge for us if he stays, because I've got his rare and limited, which is quite painful. Dwight McNeil, Vinicius Jr. And then if we roll forward to 399, Messi's playing, Dwight McNeil's playing. Who's playing in the extra spots? Kimmich is back. Oh my God. Yeah, we are about to get to the real football season. Szymanski at Fenerbahce, that would be good. Zalazar at Braga. So yeah, although last week I said, my teams are a bit average, there's still quality in there. There's still chances to win. And, I've got a war chest of about 2.8k that can even improve that further. If we go to All-Star Rare Pro, that's probably where we can get a better sight of everyone. So, goalkeeper then. Rui will be back, Unai's back, Julian if Unai's injured for some reason, Foster and Hugo Lloris. I can't believe Lloris has not got a club yet. He really needs to do something. Defender position, we're really, really struggling. Now this is where, in regards to collection bonus in terms of for next season, probably a rare collection maybe, or a few limiteds. I'm gonna need a defender regardless, whether I make that my priority and I say, right, I need a Theo Hernandez and then collect AC Milan around him, or I go for a Milan stack and just pick up Trippier or someone like I've had before. However I do it, I'm not sure, but a defender's massively needed because it's just Leipzig. Mancini is not a huge scoring guy, is so hit or miss, but yeah, Las Palmas is a nice start, so I'll probably pay him there. Remy Cabella, love that guy. Yuri Tillemans is a pain. He didn't play against Brentford in one of their he didn't start, I should say, against Brentford in one of their pre-seasons, which was their first team playing. So not looking good for him. Gino Wijnaldum is exiled from PSG. How he hasn't got a club, he's going to end up at Saudi. I just know it. Everyone else is pretty solid. Thinking Ivan Illich is going to have a fantastic season, starting off with a nice fixture as well. Maybe I'll play him. That would be a bit rogue, but I'd love it. Of course, Dybala. If he goes down, we are going down with him. If he has an absolute, fantastic season, we are going to be celebrating with him. One of my favourite players at the minute and an absolute SO5 killer. So yeah, I just needed to share the hype that football is coming back. I've missed it so much and I cannot wait to put some so rare teams out. My collection bonus is quite fun as well. That'll keep me interested and has some, under 23 options, which I think could be great. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on this, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, all the best to you. Cheers.